Hi. So Jen and I haven't recorded in over 2 weeks, which is probably the longest amount of time that we've gone.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even realize it was 2 weeks, but yeah, because you were in Hawaii and then I was in Miami.
Yes. I feel like so much has happened in my life.
Yeah, we're gonna do a whole episode on Hawaii, but just the gist, good time, I assume, was had by all,
Yes, great time had by all. And then I came back and then, you know me, right back into work.
right?
But I had a wedding this past weekend.
Your first one.
My first one of the season. Yep.
And I've asked you a million times where it was and I forgot. So where was it?
It was at Filament.
Ah,
So
nice.
that is, we had Ramsey
Yes.
chit-chatting about his venues. That's one of his venues, the Two Birds Group.
So did you have a DJ or band?
DJ.
Oh, and was it sorry, does their DJs come with the rental of the space or can you?
Well, I mean, it's an additional cost that's built into it, but
Right.
you're not getting a DJ for free. Yeah.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Well, there's a venue, there's kind of the equivalent down here. There's this company owns 3 venues
Okay.
and you do get one of their DJ. I mean, if it's baked into the pricing, everybody.
Yeah.
But anyways, but it went well. The wedding went well.
The bride and groom were extremely happy with everything. It went well. Having a wedding in the early part of the season is always interesting because while I have been doing this for 14 years, not everybody has. And at the start of the season, people are just getting back into the swing of things. Here's a tip if there's any vendors listening. Here's a tip.
Sure.
If it is the very first wedding that you've ever done, please don't come into the venue and say that. Okay? Go with the fake it till you make it
Mhm.
vibe instead of just coming in and announcing that you've never done this before.
Yeah. We don't need to know that.
We don't need to know that. When I was first starting, I certainly wasn't admitting that to anybody.
No.
I was trying to find creative ways to make it seem like I had been doing it for a long time, which wouldn't have even made sense because I was in my early 30s and clearly had not been doing it. No, I was in my late 20s. Oh my God, I was a baby.
Yeah.
Nobody would have believed I would have been doing it for a long time.
No. No. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Did it go smoothly though?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit more. This is why you hire a planner, right? It's a little bit more coaching. It's a little bit more reminding people about where things go, how things are run.
Mhm.
As I get into wedding season, I'm never going to call anybody out on this podcast specifically. Like, that's not what we're using this platform for, is to be like, this
At
vendor
least
sucks, right?
now.
Like, that's.
Give us a couple of years, who knows? I'm sure Megan can be bought.
But I mean, wedding days flow quickly and time management is super important. And I think if you have never or have little experience doing that before or being involved in a wedding day, you don't understand how little of time you actually have, whether that be a room flip or just setup in general. So
Mhm.
having a planner to kind of get people moving, coach people along, making them understand those things is super important. And I'll just say that.
Yeah.
There was also somebody who put their finger in the cake.
Like pre-guest arrival?
Yeah. Like I think it was during cocktail hour. Yeah. But like nobody admitted it. So the cake is set up and in this venue, when you flip the room, people just kind of stay in the same space.
Mhm.
Well, all of a sudden, I'm noticing that there's a lot of people buy this cake. And it's not a huge cake. It's like a 2-tier cake, but it's already decorated with the flowers and we've got a nice linen down and it's looking nice, right? And so I go over there and there's a huge like finger swipe.
Are you kidding me?
No, in the front of the cake. And I didn't accuse anybody over there, but I said something about it, trying to gauge their reaction. And they all acted, they're like, isn't the cake beautiful? And I was uh, like they didn't admit
Yeah.
not that they did it, but like they're like pretending like it wasn't even there. And I'm like, it's clearly obvious.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched people try to touch a cake.
Why?
It's like they don't think it's real or something.
Oh, okay.
Or it's just like something like you revert back to being like literally 5 years old. I have no idea, but it's
Yeah.
so annoying to me.
Yeah, these were all adults, so I don't get it. So anyway, this was before the couple had cut the cake, before the photographer had taken any pictures of the cake. So I was like, "Well, we can't leave this like this." And they're just like,
Did you take a picture of it?
"No." I
Oh,
was just
Megan,
like, "I know I should
you
have."
should have.
So I turned the cake so that the finger swipe was in the back, and then I took the flowers off the top and rearranged them so that, because when the florist does flowers on a cake, they decorate the cake so that it's decorated in a way of you're looking at it a certain
Mhm.
direction. So I
Mhm.
had to redo the flowers, and they're like, "This is why you have a wedding planner, to do things like this." And I'm like, "Well, no, usually I don't have to do this because nobody is
Right.
swiping their finger through the cake, but I
Yeah.
don't want the couple to come up and cut their cake and they're like, "Well, stuck their finger in it."
One of their guests.
Right.
Jeez
So they didn't, I
Louise.
mean, they don't know about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe they do now.
Well, surprise, surprise.
Everybody will listen to the
Surprise.
episode of the podcast after their wedding just to see what happens. But like I said, I'm never going to talk bad about the couple or whatever. This was all fine.
This is what I do though, for real. Like I get drinks with my couples post wedding and then I'm like, all right. So at 9:02 a.m., your delivery was late. Only if they want to, but they always want to know. They
Yeah.
couples always like, because to them everything went perfectly.
Right.
That's all they care about. So now they're like, tell us everything. We want to know all the drama.
Well, one other thing went wrong that I'm gonna talk about it because I think that the vendor handled it amazingly. Like the couple didn't even know about this. Okay, so ceremony happens, couple goes out, everything's great. This is when the bar usually gets slammed, right? Is the ceremony's over and everybody hits the bar, especially because we're in the same place. So all they have to do is turn around and go
Mhm.
to the bar. So I'm helping to flip the room, and all of a sudden I notice a ton of what looks to be water on the floor pouring out from behind the bar,
Cool.
like
Cool.
flooding. It's just flooding. And what happened was one of the soda guns broke and was just on, shooting out soda water behind the bar everywhere during cocktail hour. And this is flooding the back of the bar behind everything. So this is at no fault to the venue because obviously this is a freak thing. They didn't, do anything to make this happen. It just like happened to break at this like horrible time. So Two Birds owns a lot of different venues downtown, and immediately the venue manager that was there, Matt, he was amazing. He got people to get it cleaned up. He contacted the other venues who immediately, all hands on deck, brought over canned or bottled or something soda water because we couldn't use the soda water guns anymore. And like he was stressed, obviously, because it was his problem that he had to fix, but they had it fixed in 15 minutes. And the guests didn't know about it. The couple didn't know about it. To them, that was a huge deal because having, something happen with the bar during cocktail hour is super stressful, but they handled it amazing.
Great.
And this is why you have a professional, venue and not somebody who is starting up in a barn.
Oh my God. That could also be a whole episode because I can't tell you how many times people are like, can I pick your brain? I'm thinking about opening up a venue. And I am like a cheerleader. Like, if anyone has a dream,
Yeah.
I'm always like, yeah. But when someone asks me about owning a venue, I'm like, no, I would never, never.
I would never either. Oh my God, it's so much work.
It's so much work and people have no idea like the costs and the liability and like
Right.
and no.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm probably not the person to ask because I'm not going to be very positive.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that, I guess my point is that I'll just do a shout out to that group. If anybody's thinking of getting married and using one of their venues, I would never hesitate to give my clients the go to use
Yeah.
one of the Two Birds Event Group venues.
Do you know that I would definitely be willing to do an episode where I would talk about the venues in Chicago that I do not recommend? I would totally do that.
Oh, not sponsored by.
Not sponsored by any gravy company or
I was just going to say good gravy, Jeff.
Good Gravy. I would do it. I don't think it would be a whole episode. I think it would have to be like a mini episode, but I would just tell it to it like I do my clients.
Yeah.
There's a couple of venues that when it comes up, I say no, and I'd go on the air and do that
Mm-hmm.
because you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. I came to play. I'm here now. I'm gonna shout it from the rooftops. Anyways,
All right. So that's my story. It all went well. They were very happy. Yes.
good. And welcome back to wedding season.
Yeah.
I don't have a wedding till October, so you're going to be keeping us full of the stories until then.
Yeah. I was sore by the end of the day. Isn't that sad? Like I was like physically sore.
No, Megan texted me. I was like horizontal. I did a conference. I was planning and executing a conference in Miami last week. So those are always like up at 6
Mhm.
up till 10 or 11 p.m. So you're just exhausted,
Yeah.
So I got home Friday night. Saturday, I pretty much did nothing, just laid on the couch. And Megan texted me like, I'm at a wedding. And I'm like, I'm not. Oh, man. But anyways.
Okay. Well, I know that you can barely stand it.
I can barely stand it.
Do you want to tell people who our guest is today?
Yes. So our guest today is a former groom of mine, times 2, but he married the same man twice. He was it was a COVID situation.
Right. It's not a divorce remarry. Yeah.
No. And he's now famous.
Mm-hmm.
Which I had nothing to do with, but I feel like I did. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm like a proud like stage mom.
He's so famous that Jen texted me. She's like, I have a groom and he's kind of famous and I want to have him on. And I didn't ask who it was. And I was like, okay, whatever. And she emailed me his Instagram or TikTok handle or something. And I flipped. I like totally fangirled immediately. Like I'm a little nervous for this interview today.
I know. Yeah, I was not expecting Megan to have that reaction because as you all know, she's pretty calm, cool, and collected always. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, my mom loves him. My kids love him. Everybody loves him. We actually recreated one of his TikToks at home. I was like, whoa, girlfriend. Okay. So Marco Braun is with us today, and he is a former groom of mine, times 2, to the same man. He got married to the same man.
I'd argue bride.
It's fine. And you're the creative force behind Marco's Funhouse, which I can't wait to. I mean, I'm so curious about this rebrand. Like, I don't know anything. I don't know the story, so that's part of why we're having you here today.
We have so much to catch up on, Jen.
We really do. We really do.
And this is the first time Jen has ever introduced anybody correctly. She usually messes up their name, their business name, or something else.
And they're usually my friends, but it's fine.
You're trying, and that's all that matters.
I was in the mirror this morning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome. I'm so excited to see you and so excited that you're here. We really appreciate it.
Jen, I would not put yourself down. I think you built me up to this.
Oh.
You are the reason. You are my stage mom. When I cry, I call you.
Yeah. I wish that was true. I would answer in a heartbeat. So when did we meet? Can you remind me when you got engaged?
Danny's gonna listen to this. I got engaged right before the no, not before. In like 2019. 2019, yeah. December 2019, and 1 week before my engagement, can I swear?
Yes.
Oh,
please.
yes.
Fucking brother proposes to his girlfriend a week before mine. And I knew it. And I said, Anthony, do you think you could wait? Because I told him first. I was like, do you think you can wait? And he was like, oh, yeah. And then just did it.
Oh,
it's kind of on brand for him.
Very on brand. So we're going to let that go.
Yeah.
But 2019.
Yes. So I must have come into your life shortly thereafter.
Shortly after, yeah.
But we did not know the pandemic was happening yet. So we started wedding planning. And then tale as old as time now.
Right.
COVID.
COVID hit. I think we found you literally from a Google search.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I wish that I knew what you Googled exactly.
I probably gay-friendly Chicago wedding planner.
Yep.
And then you had gays on your website and we're like, perfect.
Yeah.
Enter Jen.
Yep, here I am.
It's perfect.
We only chatted with one other person and couldn't tell you their name or who they are, but hated their personality. And then you came along and you were a bright little sunshine and we were immediately hooked.
Yeah, thank you.
Aw.
And same. It was mutual love. You know, there's some consults that you do that when you get off the phone, you are like, please, please, I hope they hire me. And you guys were absolutely one of them. So I happy danced when I found out I was working with you. So it was mutual.
So how far did you guys get into the planning before COVID hit?
I think we knocked out like the big guys.
Yeah.
Venue,
band,
not catering, but most of the big ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, then the freaking pandemic Lovato hit, and
yes.
And, at first I used to always have a negative outlook on having two weddings, but I'm very fortunate now. Like, not many people, my pocketbook wasn't too happy, but like my soul and the memories now are like spectacular.
Well, and you got to do what I think so many people wish they could do. So I always joke that when you are about 2 months out from your wedding, and we'll say like a 150, 200 person plus wedding, everyone wishes they eloped. Like they're just like what did we do? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And so you kind of got the best of both worlds, because the first wedding, which we did in 2021, was at Danny's dad's house, and 40 people.
Less, maybe.
So literally your nearest, your dearest. And it was awesome.
Well, I was laughing because I was texting Danny before this, and I was like, you sent over some pre-questions. Spoiler.
Yeah.
One of them was like your groom pet peeves. And I was like, Danny, what were my pet peeves? And he reminded me the fact that like everything about my first wedding was the pet peeve. For me, I love a backyard wedding. I love an outdoor wedding, but that is my worst nightmare on earth. Sweating, bugs, the elements. No, thank you. And then just like in a backyard, like no. And so like I hated it, but like looking back on, and then the third one was carnations.
Yes.
The entire, because everything was shut down. The florist came to us and they were like, hi, the one thing you didn't want is the only thing we can get.
Oh.
Jen, Megan, I don't know what these florists did, but they were like the most beautiful carnations I've ever seen in my life. There were these like browns. That sounds so ugly, but like these browns and tans and blues. And I just like didn't expect it. And they were beautiful. And I look back on the day and it's so special.
Well, and that was one thing too, like another secret about wedding planners is like, I knew you didn't like carnations. I don't like carnations, but I had to help sell them. I was like, well, you don't know how great these carnations are going to be. And like in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck carnations. You know what I mean? They just remind me of high school, like high school homecoming.
Yeah.
They are linked to trauma.
Yes.
We used to have them in middle school when we did like the plays, and you could like send an actor a carnation backstage.
Yes.
But because of heteronormativity, I was never given a carnation because I'm a boy. And so like I would walk out and all these girls would have their carnations and I'd be like, Mom, I want a carnation.
Yeah.
Okay. Crying in the middle of my middle school musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will also join you in I'm not a huge fan. Megan does more tented weddings and house weddings than I do. They're not my favorite either for a lot of reasons. But I have to share one story. So I'm in the city, and the house was maybe like 30-minute drive north. Okay. And so we had heaters because it was April, and they were propane heaters. And so I remember like it was one of those things where it was like, you just have to make sure they're turned off, before the end of the night. And I left at 11 because when it's a home wedding, like things kind of wrap up. But of course, people are still there hanging out, like,
Right.
And I left at like 11 and I drive back into the city and you're exhausted. I mean, we've talked about this. You're exhausted. And I get into bed and I fall asleep. And about an hour later, I bolt upright in bed. And I'm like, I didn't turn off the propane heaters. I clearly know nothing about propane tanks.
Right.
And that they had run out. No clue.
Why didn't you Google it?
I don't know. It just was I was
So did you go back?
I drove back. It's like 2 a.m.
Uh-huh.
I'm like sneaking on this property because like I mean, there could have been like alarms going off.
Guard
And
dogs.
exactly. And they were empty and I turned them off. But like, of course, like I wouldn't have slept. I would have been like, the house is on fire. The house is on fire.
Right.
Everyone is dead.
How did Jen die? She was sneaking into a backyard.
Right.
A Doberman Pinscher came and ate her throat because she climbed on their property.
Yeah.
And I think that just means you're an excellent planner.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah. I care. I could not.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. I think I shared that with you pretty quickly after, because we went in then to planning wedding number 2 right after, which was so nice because I liked you guys.
Right.
Well,
and I was going to say, and then you got your dream wedding, Marco. You got more of what you were looking for.
Looking back on it, I prefer one. I prefer the
Yeah.
first wedding was, like I said, it was just like my nightmare of just like, it wasn't what I wanted for my wedding, but like looking back on it, it was so special. I love that it was like in a family member's home.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes it so special. And, just like shout out to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law for opening their home to a bunch of people. Like that's the kindest thing anyone can really do. And it was just such a day filled with love. And I look back on it because it was so small and intimate of just greatness. And the second one was just a party.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, why not?
Yes. So my memory is when I met you, you were in corporate America, right? Which hardy har. I mean, like,
horrible.
To know you is to know you were not made for that lifestyle. Oh, one of my favorite stories is when we were looking at we went to tour their rehearsal dinner venue, and his old corporate was having their Christmas party there, and Marco was like, "Oh my God, hide me."
Out the door. Horrible.
But am I wrong in remembering that it was during the planning process that you started I Spy Antiques, and wasn't part of it because of like what you were collecting for the wedding? Or can you tell me, maybe I'm misremembering, I've made up a story, I don't know.
No, I think I did. I was in corporate America having the worst time of my life. And I had like a new role, just like a lot more work, no raise. And then after 8 months of that, I finally was like, can I get a raise? And they were like, you should be happy you have a job.
Oh.
So corporate America. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, you should be happy you have me. And I wasn't making bank. When I look back on it, it was like I was making nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I left and then drank for 2 months straight. It was the pandemic.
Yeah.
As we all did.
Yeah, exactly.
Places were highly encouraged then.
Yeah.
Not so funny. And then I have always been like collecting antiques with Danny. And then I decided I'm going to start this business. And then as like the wedding process was happening and we knew we wanted it in, let's go back to salvage one in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Salvage one, vomit. Not them. They are not vomit. They are wonderful. Just want to put that. Anyways, so we're married and I was like, we wanted the venue to be reflective of antiques, and like I thought, how perfect. And then we came up with the wonderful but horrible idea of like putting antiques on the tables. Carrying those boxes in was horrible, and that's okay, but it was worth it. And so yeah, it was this lovely moment where it was like the start of my business and I got to be inspirational with it and just decide what to put out, and it felt really fun and was exciting.
And just to give a little bit of, I will post photos so people know what we're talking about. And this is where was very clear how much I loved these two men, because it was a lot of work on both like our end and theirs, but each table was curated with, I mean, it was insane. Like each vignette was different. So we had, 22 tables, 20 some tables, and not one table looked the same. And it was amazing.
And were they all your antiques, Marco, that you had collected and put together and brought in?
Most of them were like from our home. And
okay. Very
no one was allowed in our home like during that weekend because it was just like empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the planners, Rachel, who worked for me at the time, like she went there and like photographed. So we pre-photographed each vignette so that it would translate. Because I mean, Marco's a stylist, and so it was like he can't do that, and we're recreating it. So it was like Everything was labeled. There was photos.
Right.
It was cool though. I mean, it really turned out amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're deciding now that you're going to sell antique. I mean, because the storyline is crazy where you're at now. And
Just the start, yeah.
Yeah. What was your vision when you first started, that you just wanted to curate and sell antiques?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
just love dead people's stuff.
Yeah. It's cool, right?
Always loved antiques, and there was this woman I found online that was selling them, and I was like, "I can sell antiques online, interesting."
Mhm. Mhm.
And I just found this, like, whole world, and I fell in deep, and, I'm still deep. I'm crawling out of it.
yeah.
My rat nest is still there in our 2nd bedroom, but, we're getting out, but I'm still in deep.
Still in the biz. So while you're creating this, you're obviously, I mean, you have a presence, you're hilarious, you have such an energy, like people want to be around you. So that translates so naturally to the internet
Mhm.
or whatever we're calling it, social media. So you're creating these videos of you thrifting, of like showing what you bought. And I guess, how did we get to Marco's Fun? I mean, I can see how we got to, or can you
Yeah.
talk? Not me.
I need to hear about the vintage recipes, of course.
Oh, yes. Tell us how you became Instagram famous or TikTok famous.
Going back to pandemic, I had, like, a TikTok page of just, like, on my own personal just for fun, and I was an actor before this, and I just needed, like, a creative outlet during the pandemic, and so then I made a bunch of videos, I had a couple go viral.
The one, oh my God, Megan, did you see the one where somebody stole their pride flag?
No.
Stole a pride
Oh,
flag off our fucking porch.
Oh my god.
Porch pirates, and
it's
so
hilarious. I'll send it
so
to
that, like,
you.
went viral, and then I got, like just, like, I had, like, a great following, and then I got put onto the wrong side of TikTok, and the conservatives came for me, and it was just,
Oh.
like, this, like, really overwhelming like, look at me, I've been bullied my whole life, like, please, but, like, this was just, like, wild, and I had never experienced anything like it before, and so I took a little break,
Uh-huh.
and then
Mhm.
when the antique business started, I looked at it as another great opportunity to perform and be creative, and it was lovely to get that back. And now I've built this like wonderful community that everyone is very welcoming and kind. Knock
Mhm.
on wood, I've not had too many issues there. But yeah, so I did antiquing and all my adventures through that online and made fun videos about it, sold a bunch of stuff, and then, I wanted to try new things, and then my aunt had passed away, and we were cleaning out her house, and I found a bunch of vintage cookbooks, and, like, out fell this, like, piece of paper that was handwritten by some bitch named Jenny, and I call her a bitch because the recipe was disgusting,
yeah.
and it was, like, a tuna jello lime mold, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why would anyone eat this?"
Uh-huh.
And so I made it, it was a success, and then I started doing all these cooking videos, and so then I got so cool, I got a manager.
yeah.
The manager suggested, like, he's like, you know, people love your antiques, they love the videos. They're like, but no one knows who you are. Like, no one knows your name. Everyone always called me like that antique guy or that jello guy, which the other
Mhm.
day we were at the farmer's market and someone stopped us and went, "Are you that goose guy?"
I was just gonna say
I
that.
wanted to not only unalive myself in that moment, for that was what I would be remembered for, ashamed.
Are you that goose guy?
I love the
I
goose.
do love the
That's
goose
what I'm
too.
remembered for, that, like, oh my god. Anyways, so lost my train of thought, goose guy, goose guy.
You have a manager.
Thank you, Jen,
Hmm.
keeping me always on track,
Yeah,
but
I
even
got
even
you.
and so they were like, "You should do a light rebrand, put your
Mhm.
name in the title, switch over towards more of showing lifestyle and what your life is about so that you have greater opportunity for marketing and branding and deals." And so I just made this great change of just I wanted people to know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So antiques will always be alive and part of me. I'm at this weird I feel like my metaphor this is my metaphor.
Yeah.
Welcome, get ready.
Okay.
I see a stovetop and it has like 8 pans on it. It's Hanukkah. People are arriving in 30 minutes. And everything's just like going at once. And so I'm trying to figure out like the balance and how to get the meal out in time perfectly. And so antiques is like the one in the back that I have forgotten to turn on. And so I'm like slowly trying to figure that like realm out because I'm just so busy.
Right.
I don't wanna lose that part of me because it
Mhm.
Yeah.
was what started everything, and it is what I am passionate about, and I do love antiques, and I love going into dead people's homes and taking their trash.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that anytime you own a business, I mean, which is what you are a business. I always say it's like another person. It's like you've created something and it's going to tell you just as much of what it's going to become as you are trying to tell it.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes when you like lean into I think when you lean into being open to more and not so restrictive of like, I do this, I do this and only this, it's like, it's better to be like, that's where I'm at now with my brand. It's like, I do everything now.
Mhm.
It just brings more to the table.
Well, I would really love if you could still occasionally do a vintage recipe because my 2 kids
Oh, they're going nowhere.
they are obsessed.
Her 2 kids, by the way,
That is why I fangirled because we were
and
following
Megan.
you. Yes, and my mom, everybody. When Jen said who you were, I was like, "Holy shit, I have to text my husband," because my kids love it. They found a vintage recipe at my mom's house and did their own video pretending to be you and, like, recreating it. It's so funny. Thank you for doing those.
That is very kind of you to say thank you, and I'm shocked by how many children like me, and it's I don't wanna outright say I don't like children,
Yeah.
but I think I struggle with
Yeah.
children, and
Well, my 10-year-old will occasionally slap the table and say, "Lamb tuna," and just, like, walk away. He loves it.
see, that's what I think I like about children. I like when they're, like, 10.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like when they're a teen, they're moody, and I love that, and I wanna experience that, but, like, when they're young, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't connect. Like, Danny's niece Olivia, the amount of times that we've had to be sat down together to apologize to each other is
Oh.
wild.
She's a doll, by the way.
We're like 2 fighting 6-year-olds, mean, just nasty always. She's 8, 7 or 8 now,
Is
and a
she?
delicious delight. She's
Yeah,
wonderful, wonderful,
she
wonderful.
was so fun at the weddings because she was young. She was like 3 or 4,
Very young. It
but
was her wedding, not ours.
oh, big time. And your dog, Sherman, it was also his wedding.
His wedding.
He stole the show at the first wedding.
One of my favorite memories and why I love the first wedding let's get back to
I know exactly.
thinking about the first thing was, my nephew was
A
maybe a
baby.
year or 2 years old, one of my
Yeah.
nephews, and he has Down syndrome, and he was just, like, front row, laying on a blanket, and Sherman was just, like, licking him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I watched Sherman walk over and piss on the carnation, and I just, like it was just such a, like, a lovely moment to see my family and Sherman, and, like, just such a that was so special. I love that Sherman was there.
Yeah, it was awesome. I also have to shout out very quickly your attire. We won't talk about your wedding anymore. Well, yes, we will, but your outfits, the suits were fantastic.
My girl
Both.
Jenny, Adrian Park.
Yeah, I still refer her from your from your recommendation.
I've gotten 3 suits from her now. Every time I go
Yeah.
to her, it's just like 100 men in there just getting wedding suits, wedding suits, wedding
Mhm.
suits.
Yeah. They were custom, they were amazing. Yeah, I'll post some pictures of that too.
She has a great
Okay.
backstory. Single mom,
Oh,
owns a business, 3 kids.
yeah, I love that.
Wow.
It was her husband's business. He passed away, and she continued it on. And just a great story, great woman.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We love Jenny. We should have Jenny on.
Yeah.
Just I'm sure she has tons of stories. Can you imagine? A woman creating custom tuxes for a bunch of grooms? Oh, oof. Oof. Anywho, okay. So, a very serious question. Now that you have a manager and you're getting some branding deals, we have to ask you a question.
Okay, go.
Well, Megan and I have noticed that I often say good gravy a lot,
Yeah.
all the time.
Are you actively doing it unbeknownst to you, or are you trying to make this your catchphrase?
No, well, now we are. It was something I just did. Then it was like, do you say good gravy all the time? And I was like, well, then maybe we should make it our catchphrase. So if we were thinking we should reach out to gravy companies, I guess, how do you get
I
say?
don't think gravy companies are looking to budget or host anybody in that field,
Okay.
I support you.
Okay.
Everybody has a dream, right? Gravy.
Like, maybe the company that owns, like, I'm sure Heinz has a gravy. And you'd go through Heinz.
Yeah, I also love ketchup. Maybe I should start saying.
Maybe you could be the queens of like a gravy festival in Missouri or
Oh.
something. You should do like research, and
There has to be a gravy festival.
there has to be a gravy fest, and
Oh, and we could
you could do
Okay.
a live podcast from there.
See, I'm glad
Perfect.
I brought this up.
Marco you can be our manager because you don't have
Yeah.
anything else to do.
You could lean into it. You could do a full mukbang of eating things with gravy.
Yeah. Could we come on an episode and do a gravy inspired vintage recipe?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I love that this question started. Let's go on a more serious note.
Yeah, I didn't know she was going to ask that either, for the record.
It was a serious question. I'm just, I feel like you are, you're way ahead of us. But one day we might get to where you're at. And then I have to be ready.
Branding and getting deals is so stressful. I think I have reached out to 8 billion people in the first 2 years of this, and it just recently started getting deals.
Which is surprising because you have so many followers.
I know, and that was one of my manager's big things about doing more lifestyle was being so focused on antiques. It's like a hard niche,
Yeah.
and not many companies want to work with old stuff that is not new. Like it doesn't translate well.
Sure.
And so, I was shocked too, Megan. I was shocked too.
Oh, okay, wait. So I'm going to ask one question, then we have to go back to your wedding again. But my next question before I do that is, what's your dream sponsor? Like, who is your I really want to do something with this brand or company or whatever?
Jen and I are all about putting things out into the universe on this podcast. And so far, nothing has really come back to us. But eventually,
it takes
something.
Time. It takes time.
Keep manifesting.
Yes.
Keep manifesting. No, who's my dream? Well, I don't know if this is a dream, but I hope you're listening, Hellman's Mayonnaise. They are blue balling me. They are in my DMs, first to comment on everything. Just in it. Just licking my butthole, but giving me nothing. Well, I guess that is giving me everything.
Yeah.
I'm licking their butthole. They are not licking mine. And I'm like, what's the deal, guys? They even did a promotion recently with a vintage purse, gay, and a built-in mayonnaise spot with a vintage spoon.
What?
It's like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I am going to boycott Hellman's Mayonnaise until they start working with you.
Same.
Sometimes I buy Dukes just to fuck with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they almost they're stealing your idea. They stole your antique idea for that promo. Rude.
It's my arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I don't know. Yeah, but I think a big dream of mine is I would love to be on Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, I think that's totally doable.
The Drew Barrymore. What the hell's happening?
Oh my God.
Barrymore show.
That's how I talk when I introduce people. You could make that happen for sure.
Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't already happened, to be honest with you.
I could see you on a segment of the Today Show.
Uh-huh.
Doing a vintage recipe.
Yeah. I would love to be on the Today Show.
Anyways, that'll happen. But let's talk about the fame you have had with famous people. Second
Lizzie
wedding.
McGuire herself.
Lizzie McGuire. I didn't even know that was a Lizzie McGuire sweatshirt. That's so perfect. Wait. Let me take a picture of it.
Did you guys watch Lizzie McGuire?
No, we're too old.
We're too old.
You're only 5 years older than me.
I know. I think that was we just missed her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So tell the story. It's pretty exciting.
So since it was our second wedding, Danny and I sat down and in advance, we at our first wedding panicked and wrote our vows the night before. I thought I was getting a cold sore. I cried. And
Oh.
like we're writing vows and it's like 10 p.m. It was the worst decision of our lives.
Mhm.
But we did it and we got through it. So for the second wedding, we set a time. We were like 3 months in advance. We're writing our vows and we wanted them to be fun and silly because the first ones were serious. And we're like, this one is just exciting. And you know, Danny's in the long run were very sweet and funny, yes, but like not where I went. And I missed the memo just a little, but that was okay. And I have been in love, guys, with Hilary Duff my entire life. I used to have my mom wouldn't let us hang anything on the walls because she didn't want to put holes in her walls with thumbtacks. Like, how rude.
Really? Yeah. That's like such a rite of passage.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Only allowed to put things on doors. And so
Okay.
I had 2 sliding doors and with the back of the door to my room, Hilary Duff, head to bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the
Right.
middle was one tiny photo of, do you remember Diana DeGarmo?
From American Idol. Yeah.
No. Oh, no.
I think she got in like second place season like 4. But Diana DeGarmo made it on for me. And my locker at school was all Hilary Duff. But anyways, I was obsessed with Hilary Duff and I always thought I was going to marry her. So that was just the route I wanted to go in like this silly way.
And I'm sure everybody in your room thought that you were going to marry a woman, Hilary Duff, when they when they saw.
I was so crazy. She'll never listen to this. I was so crazy about Hilary Duff that I used to communicate with somebody on AOL every day who was pretending to be Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, Marco, it is not her. I was catfished
Yeah.
by Hilary Duff.
You were catfish.
So I used to talk to her every day. Like I was obsessed with her. She was just so beautiful in my eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
She still is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And has always remained normal. Has never had like a weird downfall.
Mhm.
Always remained true. She's a great mom. Anyways, great candle line.
Yeah.
Another PR package I was
Yeah,
shocked to not
yeah.
receive. Her and Hellman's
Yeah.
on my list.
We're watching you.
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about Hilary Duff. So anyways, I love Hilary so much. And it just turned out that the vows were just like really Hilary Duff strong. And I just did not anticipate that. And so I did them and I knew people would laugh because most of the people in the crowd knew like I loved Hilary Duff growing up as a kid. And it was like such like my personality trait. I think I just said straight.
Yeah. Freudian slip. Just kidding.
Then, yeah, we posted them. They went viral. Hilary Duff responded. She reached out. She sent me a gift. She went on our registry and bought our silverware.
Oh my gosh.
So our silverware is from the Hilary Duff. We have like the note framed that she sent.
Were you freaking out? Like, was your inner child who was obsessed with her freaking out when this was happening?
I was like, bye, Danny. She wants you.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of want to pretend that it was the AOL person.
I've been looking for you all these years.
Wasn't the wedding, didn't it go into People magazine or something? Or am I remembering that not correctly?
I don't think print, but it went on their website, which is
Okay.
exciting.
Very cool.
Tons of people reached out. And it was just like such a fun, like, cap to our wedding.
It was awesome.
It was a fun little, just exciting thing to happen that like no one expected, like celebrities reposting and just like it was really fun.
It was also really fun for me because I had nothing, like I was not mentioned, and I had nothing to do with it being in People. It had nothing to do with like the actual wedding, but I definitely put it on my website that I was like featured in People. But I was like, that is the couple and that is the reason I want in People. Like that's so on brand for me. You know, it's like it's hilarious and it's so heartwarming.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I've made it now.
You know what made me laugh about your website? I went on to both of your websites last night just to refresh the brain, see what's happening.
Yeah.
Love your new website, Jen.
Oh, thank you.
I went to the Q&A and it made me laugh when it was like, do you do day of planning? Nope. It was just like such your personality. Like absolutely not.
So, okay, wait. Should we quickly mention your cakes?
Oh yeah, we had great cakes, I think.
Yeah, you had great cakes.
Again, throwing it out.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
Alliance Bakery.
Love them.
I don't know why. We just fell in love with them. And they have done quite a few cakes for us in our lifetimes. And our first one was nachos, like a plastic container of nachos with cheese that you would get at like a game. And one of Danny and I's first date was to the Wolves, the Chicago B League hockey team.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're familiar.
Was that Danny's idea?
It was shockingly mine.
Interesting. Okay.
I got free
Okay.
tickets from work.
Oh, cute.
Okay.
I was like, let's go. Why not? It was like our third or second date, something like that. And we get there, guys. We were, spoiler, stoned out of our minds. And we are one of 4 people in this entire arena.
What?
Oh my
And
God.
I'm not even kidding. One of 4. 2 of 4. 2 of 4.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there. All of a sudden, they bring out this like pyrotonics. What's the word?
Mhm.
Pyrotechnics?
Yeah.
Pyrotechnics. They bring out full pyrotechnics of a show with wolves, with like fireworks, flames, and it's just Danny and I. There's no one else there, and they do this for every start of the show, and it was just this like show for the men entering the arena. Just wild.
That is amazing.
To Danny, I was like, "Do you want to go on this date?" And he said, and he as well was like, "This is weird," and was like, "I'll only go, but for the nachos." And so I made us T-shirts for that date that said, "I'm just here for the nachos."
Oh.
And who knew Danny loves a custom tee, won his heart that way.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And so then, so our first cake was nachos, and it looked good.
Yeah. I'll post a picture.
So it was a cake
Full on
that
cake.
looked like nachos. Got it. Not just like you ate nachos as your dessert.
Full nacho cake.
Got it. Okay.
And
Yeah,
then the second cake was a Polaroid, a camera, like a full camera,
Okay.
and having a Polaroid coming out of it. And it was a picture of Danny and I from our first wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was really cool. I need you to promise me something. And
Maybe.
no, you don't.
Go on.
Yeah. Okay, you are obviously going to become very rich and famous, and we need to do an anniversary wedding or something because you had such good ideas, and of course, like we're working with budgets, so there were some things we couldn't do because it was like over budget.
Do you know what I regret every day?
What?
Saying no to the baluppa.
To the what?
Danny and I wanted a baluppa, a balloon huppa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To get married under.
Mhm.
And so we titled it the baluppa. And Jen and Rachel, I appreciate it now. Discouraged us from getting the baluppa. They think we would have regretted it down the line. It's not as classy to have balloons. I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe for the anniversary party.
But
So what is the promise? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, that you hire me to plan it.
Well, Jen and now Megan, you guys are hired for life.
Awesome. Oh my God, because that'll be so cool. It'll be like, who's the Kardashians planner? She's famous.
No idea.
Anyways, that'll be me, but for you. Well, and also like planning parties is so much more fun than weddings because you'll go there. Like we talk about that. Like a lot of people, well, you guys went there, which I loved. I mean, there was drag queens, there was a chicken suit. It was amazing. The fans clapping. So instead of like place cards with like a stupid sticker on it to be like, I have the chicken, Marco made with your Cricut, right? Did you make the fans?
I didn't make the fans. I got them.
No, but you got the names on them.
We put the names on with the Cricut.
Yes, if your fan was green, you were vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool because when they got introed in, everybody was like, what is that called? Like clapping their fans.
Clapping.
Yeah,
I learned the big like drag queen ones. They were really fun.
Nice.
Oh, and since your wedding, by the way, I've watched every season of RuPaul's Drag Race, so now I understand a lot of the terminology that was being used. I've watched everyone, all the All-Stars. I just started the new All-Star one, so.
Are you on the new
I am. Yes, and I'll let you know that I saw Detox at the O'Hare Airport a couple months ago, and that was very exciting for me.
She lives
She does
in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yes.
And she has like a pool in her basement.
Oh.
And it's like, I remember seeing a YouTube video about it, and it like looks like just a normal run-of-the-mill like Hinsdale bungalow.
Interesting.
That just like has a pool in the basement.
Yeah, I love that.
Wild.
Interesting.
I'm like, that's very her.
But for parties that aren't a wedding, you really go there because it's not this once in a lifetime or twice in a lifetime thing,
I love party planning.
Yeah.
Like little things. We have that big Halloween party every year.
Yes.
I love them. I'm currently planning a funeral for February. I had to have like surgery 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And so in February, or in December, I have to get like a new surgery again.
Oof.
And so I'm
Yeah.
having a funeral to celebrate that being gone.
Oh, you're getting rid of a body part, like an
Basically.
organ? Cool. Okay.
Getting rid
Well,
of organs and then
yeah.
getting some back.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
I have a big old funeral for it, and I'm really excited about
Yeah,
it.
that's exciting. It's good to celebrate. I really wanted to do a divorce party, but I got divorced during COVID. So I think it's good to celebrate the weird, like any life transition.
Any excuse for a party.
Yeah, I think you can still have a divorce party, but like make it a thriving party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Still should celebrate yourself. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, I do all the time. Okay, so anything, I'm trying to think, I want to make sure we've covered everything. We've covered what you're trying to manifest. We've covered who's on your shit list.
Not everybody.
We've
I can do better on that shit list. I got another one.
Wait, do you have one you want to share right now?
Yeah, and that at WGN Radio.
Why? This show? Why? What did they do?
I did a like morning segment with Matt Rodriguez from NBC, Mornings with Matt or whatever, and he like came over, ate some vintage recipes. We had a great time, two gays having a blast. And then apparently on WGN, Robin Baumgarten, who was my hero, she also does like vintage recipes like once a month on the news.
What?
Never seen them. And they then put me on the news. I've watched them every morning of my entire life. And not every morning, clearly, but I loved them as a child. And they like destroyed me on the news. They're like, he stole our idea.
What?
Isn't as great as Robin. I know. WGN News shat on me and Matt.
Rude.
I know.
That is rude.
So they're on my list because one of my dreams was to be on WGN News.
Yeah.
You guys know anyone there, you let them know I'm mad.
I'll let them know you're no longer interested.
No longer interested.
You know what? He was not anymore.
Yeah.
I would have cooked with Robin.
Yeah. You know, if you ever need another manager, I think I'd be a good one.
Excellent manager.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I'm calling for the 50th time today.
When I get bigger, that's when I'll hire you.
Okay, perfect.
Right now, my manager is mostly just like brand deals. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean.
They're not like scheduling my podcast.
Yeah, I could be like, so I got a gravy sponsor for you. Are you sitting down, Marco?
You guys are gonna get it.
I feel like you could also benefit. I feel like there could be a collab here. So let's keep
gravy
that in mind.
and mayonnaise. I mean,
Everyone's favorite combo.
Exactly.
I think there's good merch there in your gravy.
I think so too. I'm ready to bring back t-shirts.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. So, is your husband involved in any in your business at all?
Danny is my Lucy Ricardo. I am Ricky Ricardo, and I am constantly babalooing all over the place. And Danny is just like, please let me be in the show, Ricky. He's always trying to get in. Stage mom to the Mac. Just like to the side videoing, so excited. He's like living through me, and he's the most supportive and helps me more than you guys would ever know.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Just, yeah.
He's wonderful.
When I did the rebrand, it was like right when I was getting out of the hospital. And so he was just like really pumping through things, helping me edit. So he was wonderful.
So you're still doing all of your editing and everything?
Sadly, yes.
You do a really good job.
Yeah, you do.
Editing is so much work, guys. It's too much.
Megan does all of our editing for this. And I was telling her, I feel like you and Danny could do this too. But I was telling her yesterday that we have to do that trend, you know, on TikTok right now where it's like a couple and it's like, hi, I'm Megan and I do all the editing. And then it goes to the other partner. It's like, hi, I'm Jen. And then it just goes back to Megan. I feel like you and Danny could do that too. Like, it's good to find those partnerships in life.
Yes.
If I find a Danny to my Marco, I like to pretend that I'm like you. I am going to get married again. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm only inviting former A Fresh Event
I know
couples.
this.
And I can't wait. And
I'm
I know
at that back corner table. I'm going to kill you.
Oh no, you'll be like table 1. You're going to be like my dad. You're going to walk me down the aisle. But I know exactly who I would put. I already know who I'd put at your table. It'd be the best one. Oh shit, now everyone will know that.
Yeah, no, you're screwed. Because if they're not at that table, then they're gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, but anyways.
Before we close this out, I am realizing we never circled back to Salvage One vomit.
Oh yeah,
I don't
think
wanna
you
leave
should.
that there.
I think.
I don't wanna-
I think
I don't
you
wanna leave
should
that there.
clarify. Yeah.
We got married for the second time at Salvage One. Amazing venue, beautiful, tons of antiques. You guys know. I don't know why I'm explaining to you two. You know.
Yeah.
And I went to a wedding there when I was 22, and this was back in the day when you were like, "Oh, I have the flu. I'll still go." And you remember those days?
Yeah.
And you're like not feeling well. You're like, "But I gotta go. I guess." And so I was not feeling great. I'm at a wedding. Still got drunk because I was 22. And I remember I went to the bathroom and I was thinking to myself, I'm going to get married here. And
Oh.
then, without warning, I projectile vomited all over the mirror, counter, the floor, the urinal.
Oh.
Here I am, in my 20s. So this is when I had like blonde curly hair, tons of jewelry, makeup, and I'm like wiping down walls. I should clean it up. And finally, there was like a moment that hit me. It was just like, I can't clean this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to walk away.
Yes.
And then I walked away and I went to some poor worker there and I was like, somebody threw up in the bath.
There's probably like vomit on you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
We probably 100% knew it was.
I don't know who it was.
I don't know who it was.
Oh my God.
But it was that moment I knew I was going to get married there.
I love that.
That's amazing.
I told Danny this story until we like went to the venue because I did not want him to be like, because he was not feeling the venue at first. And I was like,
Okay.
wait till you see it in person.
I think you already had it booked before you hired me because I don't remember venue touring with you.
It was like the first thing I did. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And Danny was like, all right, I know how this is going to go.
That's a great story.
I don't think you ever shared that story with me.
Well, don't
Yeah.
tell Salvage One.
Yeah.
It's like the same worker is still working there. He's like, I knew that guy was familiar.
Yeah.
They have, like, their workers have been there for like 12, 20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Colleen is listening to this and is like, yeah. Yeah.
Woman, but scared of her.
Yeah, she runs a
She does
tight
her
ship.
job well.
She does. We had to fight for so walking down the aisle instead of a flower girl or a ring bearer, we had shot
Shots.
Jello shot
Yellow
bearers.
syringes.
It happened, but there was fighting about it.
She didn't want you to do the.
They were handing out syringes full of Jello
Yeah.
shots, which was awesome. But
I don't think that would be very messy.
the liquor license issue in Chicago is pretty intense.
Got it. Okay.
So we were like, oh, it's fine. And then our caterer kind of, we won't say who that is because they let it happen. Like,
Yeah.
what's over there, Colleen? And then,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
she going to do? Stop the ceremony. Well,
Yeah.
look at Jello has been in your life for so long.
Oh,
Jello really has been in my life for so long. I am the king of Jello shots. They are also disgusting.
yeah.
Do you have a Jello sponsorship?
No. Also, don't think Jello wants to be tied. I think it's hard for a lot of these brands to be like, but he hates it.
Well, you don't hate it.
My new thing is high quality items to make a poor quality meal.
There you go.
I don't understand that because like one of my marketing ideas is for McDonald's. And I feel like that they should be like McDonald's After Dark and they could do like a whole campaign of how we still sometimes drunkenly get McDonald's and all the ways we've gone to do it and how it helps with our hangovers. Like, I mean, it's gold.
Thank you,
Just
Jen, for
lean
admitting,
in. Just
for admitting you still eat late night McDonald's.
just lean into it, you know?
Love late night McDonald's.
Exactly. You have a Diet Coke that cures all. There's probably drugs in it. I don't know, but it's just
You know what my guilty pleasure at McDonald's is occasionally?
Tell us.
Filet of fish.
Oh,
okay. Marco and I just made the exact same face, and
And that is the correct reaction. That is the correct reaction. But when I was in high school, I did not eat meat. I only ate fish. And so I would order fish sandwiches whenever I was at like a fast food joint. And in my brain, I'm still wired to occasionally really want a fillet of fish, but I'm too embarrassed to order it when I'm with anybody. So it's always like, by
Secretive.
myself in the car, and I like eat it really quick so that nobody knows.
And like, what a hilarious commercial that would be, is all I'm saying. It's like, people do eat the fillet of fish. Just admit it.
At least it's not the McRib.
Oh, I love the McRib.
Oh, see, I think that's gross. I think that's grosser than the fillet of fish.
People used to call me when they saw it was like on the menu. They'd be like, Ganson, the McRib's back. And I'd be like, I'm on my 4th one. You don't have to tell me.
I never had a McRib until I met Danny.
Life-changing.
I know. His mom loved them, and so when for her anniversary, like his mom passed away, and so we always get the McRib in her memory.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's gross, but good.
It is. I blame my grandma, and I had, like, she would always buy me Happy Meals when I had a bad day. That was a problem because I had a lot of bad days as a kid. But she and I shared a love for the McRib, so it's a bonding.
They don't put McRibs in Happy Meals.
No. Well, I graduated into the McRib.
Okay.
Excellent point there, Megan.
My grandma made it happen. I don't know how.
Bad day, here's a McRib.
Yeah. And I have a weight problem to date because of that. Thank you.
And this is why America is the way it is.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Such a beautiful country.
Beautiful. I've been on Weight Watchers since I was 13.
Me too. All right. On that note.
On Weight Watchers note.
I was just now thinking about how now everybody is going to know that I eat the occasional fillet of fish.
You said you secretively eat it in your car. Your family knows for a week.
Very true. Very true.
One time I was with my friend and we got in an Uber and I was like, did you just eat McDonald's? And my friend was mortified.
You can always smell it. You can.
Yeah. She was like, he did not want you to know that. And I was like, I was more like, you go, guy. You just had a great day.
At McDonald's.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So now when you get a McDonald's sponsorship, maybe that's what you'll manifest somehow.
Or Weight Watchers. I'll take that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Jen and I will take whatever we can get.
We're sponsored by Gravy and Weight Watchers.
Although, what did I say that we would not do earlier today? Oh, Vienna sausages. The canned Vienna sausages.
Really? You know, I dated a guy once who only ate in college, and he only ate Vienna sausages and rice. It was wild.
Oh, it's like dog food.
I kind of got into it.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can judge me.
I am.
No.
Don't worry. That's.
I judge you to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now,
okay.
Wow, before we have to sit down and apologize to each other.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This really means a lot for you to be here.
I had the best time. Thank you for being amazing wedding planner. Megan, thank you for being my new amazing wedding planner.
Yeah. Yeah. And tell Danny we said hello.
Yes.
And we'll keep cheering you on, and we can't wait to see what happens.
We can't wait to see what you do.
We'll do a yearly episode, a recap to see, are things getting better? Am I on the couch of any celebrity yet?
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to get in. You know, I'll be like, I'm his wedding planner. I promise.
He's my manager now.
Yes,
Next year, you'll have a huge Hellman's mayonnaise background because you'll be officially sponsored.
I listened to this and they felt bad.
Yeah, so we'll see you next year.
Yes.
Maybe we'll be famous too, so it'll be fun. So
I think so. Go the gravy route. I really think that's your window.
I think so too. I think like a gravy fest. I'll keep you posted.
Yep.
Summers.
Yeah.
I'm going to Gravy Fest with you guys.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
Anyway, all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
All right. See you soon.
Thanks so much for joining us again this week. If you have a wedding or travel-related story of your own that you would like us to share in a future episode, send us an email to theplannerspassport@gmail.com.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Planner's Passport. And follow all of our travel and wedding businesses, including We Roam Solo, Dare to Dream Travel, and Dare to Dream Weddings. And please, if you enjoy our show, remember to rate, review, and subscribe from wherever you are listening to this podcast.